Well, hello and welcome to my video about the Eto. This is my channel where I share my enthusiasm for kanji. The Eto is the Chinese-Japanese calendar that name the years. So we all know the year of the snake, the year of the boar, whatever. And it's made up of two systems. The Jikkan, it's 10 kan, one system, and the Junishi, the other system. Okay, together, so Jikkan and Junishi together form Eto. It's an irregular reading. It should be kanshi. Kan and shi, but it's I think it can be read that way, but typically it's read as Eto, and we'll see why a little bit later. Anyway, the Jikkan is made up of 10 kanji, representing the growth and the cycle of a seed. So we have the, let's see if I can change this to pointer. We have Kinoe, Kinoto, Hinoe, Hinoto, Tsuchinoe, Tsuchinoto, Kanoe, Kanoto, Mizunoe, and Mizunoto. And they combine with the better known, they're associated with animals, the better known Junishi. We have Ne, Ushi, Tora, U, Tatsu, Mi, Uma, Hichuji, Saru, Inu, Tori, Inu, I, and 4 extra ones. Ushi Tora, it's a combination of Ushi and Tora. Tatsumi, combination of Tatsu and Mi. Hichuji-saru and Inu-i. Okay, so we often think of this as the rat, the cow, the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon, the snake, the horse, the sheep, the monkey, the bird, the dog, or the boar. And these 4 underneath are combinations of them. Another thing to note about the Jikkan, if you've ever looked at a Japanese contract, because these are ordered, the first 4, Kinoe, Kinoto, Hinoe, Hinoto, are often used to refer to the parties of a contract. And usually an honest onyomi. As we know, all kanji has at least an onyomi, a Chinese reading, and a kunyomi, a native Japanese reading. Ko, Otsu, He, Te, in this case the first 4 of the Jikkan often used. So in a contract, an employment contract for example, the Ko would be the employer, the Otsu would be the employee, and the other 2 would be respectively the 3rd or the 4th party of that contract. So, as I mentioned, the Jikkan is the Kinoe, Kinoto, Hinoe, Hinoto, Tsuchinoe, Tsuchinoto, Kanoe, Kanoto, Mizunoe, Mizunoto. What you'll notice is that each set of 2, okay, I'll change my pointer. I'm still recording, I think so. How I changed my pointer. Each set of two finishes in e and to, and this is where we get the reading for the kanji as eto, kinoe, kinoto, hinoe, hinoto, and the like animation. Okay, so the first one, kinoe, kinoe, ko, the onyomi. See, in hiragana we have the kunyomi, and katakana we have the onyomi. And this is the first one, number 2, kinoto, the otsu or itsu, another onyomi reading. Hinoe or hair, hinoto, te, tsuchinoe, o, tsuchinoto, ki, kanoe, ko, kanoto, shin, mizunoe, jin, mizunoto, ki. So these are developed by two philosophies from ancient China, very old philosophies dating back to the In Orcho or the Shang dynasty, the earliest Chinese dynasty with evidence for writing. So here at the top we have the Omyo Shiso. Okay, Omyo is what we call in English the yin and yang. So yin is the darkness, yo is the light. So the idea that everything works in these pairs, and Shiso just means a philosophy. So here we have a character for Ani, older brother, which we can call E, or Ototo, the younger brother, which we can call To. So the idea that Kinoe is the yo, the light, Kinoto is the Ototo, the To, or the darkness, the inside, and that continues all the way down. Kinoe, kinoto, hinoe, hinoto, tsuchinoe, tsuchinoto, kanoe, kanoto, mizunoe, mizunoto. Okay. And the other philosophy, Gogyo Shiso. Gogyo are the 5 elements that make up things. We can see these in the days of the week. So we have the ki, of course, is the kunyomi. The onyomi would be moku, woku. In this case, we're using ki no e, ki no to, ki. Hi, the kunyomi, or ka would be the onyomi. And the set we have hi no e, hi no to, tsuchi. Tsuchi meaning earth. Okay, so you have tree, fire, earth. Tsuchi meaning earth. Or do would be its onyomi, which of course we can see in the days of the week, doyobi. So tsuchi no e, tsuchi no do. Underneath is metal. It's a character for gold. Kin would be the onyomi. Kane would be the kunyomi. So kane in this case is just ka, kano e, kano to, and the last one, water, mizu. Mizu is the kunyomi, the native Japanese. On is the onyomi. We can call it the mizu no e, mizu no to. Okay, now onto the Junishi, and you'll see here we have a circle. If you've studied any Japanese, you should know that up here in the black we have kita, north, higashi, east, Minami, south, and Nishi, west, or Boku, To, Nan, Se are the onyomi of these three. Of course, they represent directions, so the Junishi is used not just to represent time, in the naming years, days, hours. It's also used to represent direction. So that's why we have a circle showing all the Junishi. They represent roughly 2 hours each in time, and they're further divided into sections to be more specific. Of course, this is before Western clocks. It's interesting. I think ancient people tried to understand the world without science, and they developed some pretty detailed systems to do so. So the Eto, it's very much an all-purpose system. So anyway, looking at the Eto, we have Ne, or it's onyomi shi, representing north, or representing 12 o'clock at night, so 0 hour. Next we have ushi, or it's onyomi chu, representing 2 o'clock. Next we have tora, or it's onyomi in, or it's onyomi bo, tatsu, or it's onyomi shin, mi, or it's onyomi shi, uma, or it's onyomi go, hituchi, which is onyomi bi, saru, or it's onyomi shin, tori, or it's onyomi yu, inu, or it's onyomi jutsu, and the last one, I, or it's onyomi gai. And then on the outside we have our extras representing mixed directions. We have ushitora, or it's onyomi kon, tatsumi, or it's onyomi son, Hijuji saru, or it's onyomi kon, and inui, or it's onyomi ken. So that's the Junishi. Tatsumi is a particularly interesting one because one of the Shakunin issue, the famous collection of poems used for karuta, is a poem in which this appears. Okay. Lastly, the Eto is a 60-year cycle. Okay, so the combinations of each one of these take 60 years to complete. Therefore, a completion of this cycle, known as a kanreki, kan up here, kan means to go round, and the reki means koyomi, or calendar. So kanreki, the title for the full completion of the 60-year cycle, is also the name given to a 60th birthday. So here we have the 60-year cycle laid out, and the current cycle, the Kinue Ne, it's onyomi reading Koshi. Anybody who knows anything about baseball, which I don't know much, but in Kobe there's a famous baseball stadium, the Koshien. It comes from this Kinuene or Koshi because it was built at that time. It is a very, very old dating system. Actually, some of the earliest writing in Japan is found on sword blades excavated from Kofun burial mounds, going back to about the 3rd, 4th century, in which the date that these blades were forged is written using the Eto. It's a 60-year cycle, so In this case, the current one, the Kinoe ne, starts in 1984. Okay. 1984, Kinoe ne, Kinoe, Kinoto. Sorry, Kinoe Ushi, Kinoe Tora, Kinoto U, Tsuchinoe Tatsu, Tsuchinoto Mi, Kanoe Uma, Kanoto Hichuji, Mizunoe Saru, Mizunoto Tori, and so it continues until the end of the cycle. Another important note is that although the Junichi is famous for representing animals, actually that's a later addition. So the earliest evidence, I believe, for the Eto goes back to the Shang dynasty in Ocho. It wasn't until the Han dynasty around the 1st century that there's evidence of the animal association. And if you look at all the kanji we have here for animals, so nezumi, ushi, tora, usagi, tatsuru, whatever, they're not the kanji that are typically used to represent those animals. That we can see down the bottom. So here, nezumi, or mouse, rat, we usually say it's the rat in English, even though rat would usually be dobu nezumi. Anyway, next to that we have uma. Sorry, that's ushi. Ushi, yeah. So that ushi, it should look like this is ushi in the Junichi. This is the regular ushi, cow, in Japanese. Next we have tora. Of course, this tora is very different. Usagi, again, very different. There are some other ways to write usagi as well, but this is the most common. I've included 2 here for tatsu or ru, dragon. This is the kyuji for dragon. Ku meaning old, and ji meaning character, of course, and the more modern representation of dragon. So again, tatsu, these characters, again, very different to what we have in the Junichi. Hebi, again, very different to this hebi here. Uma, again, very different to this, which looks a little bit like ushi. Notice the difference in the stroke. Hichuji, okay, Hichuji, very different to the Hichuji here. Saru, again, different to the Saru. We have Tori, again, very different to this Tori. Inu, again, different. By the way, the Junichi Inu is quite similar to the Jikan Tsuchinoe. Okay, so note the one little stroke difference. And the last one, Inoshishi, which in the Eto is I. Again, very different. So please note that they originally didn't represent these animals, so the kanji are quite different. The animals, they believe, were added just to stick in people's minds, really. Adds to superstition can be used to control people quite well. These calendars were a symbol of divine authority, meaning the rule of the emperors or the kings, made by the Omyoji, the yin and yang divination specialists, of which the most famous is the Heian period, Abe no Seimei. But anyway, all this is extra. There's a lot that we can talk about with this, and do that some other time. So Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope to do some more. If you enjoy it, please come back and watch again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.